So back in the early days of cryptocurrency, kind of from 2010 to 2017, you could download many applications onto your PC or your Mac that would help you to mine cryptocurrency in the background with the processes just running with whatever you were doing on your computer at the time. Now, since 2016 and definitely since 2020, with the two halvenings that took place in Bitcoin, the difficulty of those transactions and the rewards that are paid out for each block mean that the rewards not really viable anymore. You're going to be burning more money than you are going to make, and this you can see here. Okay, so I've been running this software application Cryptex on my computer, and I'm going to make $2 per month around about, or 7 cents per day, and that's working in full mode 24/7 365. Okay, not only is that not really viable for my laptop, I don't really want it to be on 24/7 365 because of the electricity costs. It also means that my computer is actually running at a really, really high level. We've got temperatures here that are not sustainable for the long term. My hardware will burn itself out much quicker than I can actually make a profit. Okay, so not only am I going to pay more than $2 per month in electricity costs, in actual fact, to keep my laptop on 24/7 365 on a monthly basis would probably cost around $40 to $50. I'm actually going to be replacing or having to replace the parts of my laptop, the cores effectively, and definitely the fans, periodically to make sure that it doesn't stop and doesn't crash. And obviously using my laptop for different things, recording these videos, etc., writing, that kind of thing. So it kind of takes my laptop completely offline and means that I'll have a slow performance elsewhere. So it's not really worth it in the grand scheme of things. However, earlier, back in 2010, 2011, 2012, you could run a computer system in the background and make several thousand Satoshi a day. But the difficulty, as I'll show you later in a little graph that I have, has meant that it's not really possible to mine Bitcoin anymore using a desktop computer. Now, that doesn't mean you can't mine other cryptocurrencies, and that's what I'm going to be showing you a little bit later. But in terms of a mining application to download, Bitcoin is predominantly the one. There are several Ethereum ones as well, but the more intricate and the more sophisticated the mining operation, the more likely you are to make a profit. Now, this does get very technical very quickly, okay? And this is an introductory video. I don't intend for you to go out and start spending thousands and thousands of dollars on cryptocurrency mining rigs, etc. This is a very long, deliberate, thought-out process that you need to do, and you also need to probably take things slow in the beginning. There are thousands of different mining rigs offered on eBay for 5 figures, for example, and you really do need to know what you're doing and also know what you want out of it. Do you want to run a mining rig in your property 24/7 365, which is going to make you 20% a year, or is there another way of doing that 20% a year that doesn't involve the expenditure and the risk and the insurance cost even of insuring your home against fires, etc. Okay, so it really is a deliberate choice that you need to do if you want to go down this crypto mining path. Okay, I would say that for the majority of cryptocurrencies, mining has kind of had its heyday. Okay, Bitcoin mining, certainly. Maybe around the corner there's a new cryptocurrency which is being launched where that isn't the case, and mining is always going to be a thing with cryptocurrency because that's how most cryptocurrencies are created that are not pre-mined. But I would hesitate and throw caution to this because I want you to make sure that you understand what you're getting involved in, and if you are going to want to be a profitable crypto miner, you need the market to respond as well, as I will demonstrate shortly. So this Cryptex application is just a web browser. You download an application on your computer and you just run it in the background. As I said, it's not particularly viable given the current price of everything. Okay, it depends on the price of Bitcoin obviously to make profits, and it requires that your computer be on a lot of the time. Now, there are other applications that use cloud infrastructure to mine Bitcoin. Okay, this is an Argentinian company called Ecos, and they provide a mining rig for you that you can just rent out. Okay, So for $149, you can have a 12-month contract where they take a service fee and they take care of everything for you. They change out the hardware, they keep everything going for you, and you can buy a certain number of transactions a second. Now, it does depend massively on the price of Bitcoin. So say, for example, at the moment, we're kind of about 48,000 in BTC. If I were to take out this contract, I would lose around about $25, okay, if the price of BTC didn't climb from here, okay. Let's scale this up to the maximum. So that's 50 months, and it's a $5,000 investment. So even if the price were to stay, because of the time duration at 48,000, I would make 60%, which is, you know, good over the course of 50 months. So that's 4 years. So I'm roughly making around about 15% a year. Now, what happens if what we expect to happen, Bitcoin climbs dramatically up to maybe 90,000 or so, okay? I'm then making 50% a year, or 227% over the course of those 50 months or so, okay? But there's a lot of variables that go into this, okay? And obviously, if you are going to be holding this for 50 months and you want to put in the $5,000, you've got to make sure that you're happy with that to get that relatively attractive term. But there's also just to make sure that the company is going to be around for that long. 50 months is a very long time for most companies. And also, what I don't like about this is it doesn't tell you where the electricity effectively has come from, or where the servers are, which can be an issue, because obviously if they're being powered by coal, or, you know, if they're being not very economically friendly or environmentally friendly, then that might be an issue that you want to think about. There are certainly many companies like this that now offer cloud cryptocurrency mining. You can take a look. I've just picked this one effectively at random because it's enabled you to have this breakdown and visualize how you're actually going to potentially make your profits, okay? But what if in, 3-4 years time it's actually down at 30,000, okay? You're only losing 10%, which is actually not that bad, okay? And that's helped by the fact that you've been mining it for so long. So it is definitely worth exploring, but as I say, it is a long-term strategy. It is a long-term game. You're not going to make a lot of money very quickly with crypto mining unless you are extremely lucky or you throw a lot of resources at it, okay? So this is the graph of the difficulty rating that I mentioned, okay? And as you can see, until 2016, it was relatively negligible, okay? And then suddenly in 2016 we started to get worse and worse and worse, and this is a factor that was designed in from the beginning. This is what keeps Bitcoin at its 21 million tokens, okay? This effectively will just keep on going forever, and as you can see now, it's currently at 25 trillion, and it will increase in another 11 days and 20 hours up to 28.92 trillion, okay? So this is where we're currently getting the issues with Bitcoin. And remember, this is by design. So this isn't a fault, this isn't a problem. It is designed in this way so that over time, transactions get more difficult, and therefore the rewards are reduced, and therefore the asset is effectively deflationary as opposed to inflationary, okay? The entire hedge against inflation with Bitcoin is basically here in a nutshell, okay? But what this means is if you're mining cryptocurrency, you can expect your profitability to decrease, but the price to increase, because obviously scarcity kicks in, and this is what basically fuels the increase in price for Bitcoin. Now, if you want to get really involved in cryptocurrency mining, you're probably going to have to buy your own hardware. I know I've mentioned cloud mining, okay, but you do have to trust the company that you go with, that they're going to look after your sizable investment. If you're putting $5,000 with a company that you've just discovered, you need to obviously do your due diligence to make sure that you're happy with that. And obviously if they double it for you, that's going to be $10,000 they're looking after for you, okay? Many people choose to mine their own cryptocurrencies at home using their home computer. And there are a couple of problems with that. If you're not using, a downloadable piece of software on your computer, and if your electricity isn't free, you're going to be paying for that sizably. On that desktop application that I downloaded earlier, my cost of electricity probably a month for my laptop is around $40 to $50 or so if I was to run it 24/7, 365. So I'm losing a good, $38-$48 in electricity costs alone without any hardware considerations. Okay, now maybe you're at university and maybe you're running a 1632 core system, if you're lucky, then maybe you might be able to recoup some of that. Okay, and it might even be worthwhile for you to do that. But the point is, unless you're running a very, very advanced system and you have free electricity, mining on your personal computer or your home device that you use for other things is not really appropriate. Now, you can buy dedicated mining rigs, okay, and these sit in your room, or they sit in a spare room, or you can even get storage areas with them in where you can actually run them 24/7. But they are noisy, they are warm, they are hot. They're effectively a server farm, but instead of processing network data, they are crunching numbers 24/7, 365. Okay, they take a lot of energy to run. That's one of the reasons that Bitcoin at the moment is having issues with its environmental status, is that it's becoming more and more difficult to run the mining applications behind these cryptocurrencies. Now, this is one such company, Genesis Mining. They actually have nothing available at the moment because obviously the cryptocurrency prices, when they increase, a lot of people suddenly decide that they want to mine cryptocurrencies because it kind of becomes a no-brainer if you have enough capital to start with. So these are actually all out of stock at the moment. Okay, I'm just showing you this for demonstration purposes, and there are a lot of cryptocurrency companies that are offering these type of contracts. Okay, you can mine different cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, Dash, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, and Zcash on this particular system. Okay, and as I say, they are currently out of stock. But you can look at other cryptocurrency companies to see what's also out there. Not only that, you can also mine several different cryptocurrencies apart from Bitcoin: Ethereum, Ravencoin, Ethereum Classic, Monero, Zcoin, Bitcoin Gold, etc. All of these are mineable, but you're probably going to need your own hardware in order to do it. One particular thing that I'm interested in, that may be the subject of another video on YouTube or on this channel, would be Nervous token that I'm particularly excited about. Okay, but to do this, you need to join a mining pool, and you either need to link up a cloud server, which requires a level of knowledge, or you need to link up your own systems. Okay, now you can do that using a service such as NiceHash. NiceHash is the kind of one-stop shop, I suppose, for cryptocurrency mining. They have an exchange, they have a dashboard, and you can effectively connect your rig, if you have one, to this system, and it will help you track. It's like a dashboard for your hardware, if you like. Okay, now, as I say, I've never used this. Okay, I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes, but theoretically you could download this, have an account with them, and link your mining tool to this. Okay, and what you do is you download their miner, depending on what type of infrastructure you have, and it would sync up to this, and you'll be able to see your profitability, how much you're making, what is going through your systems at the moment, obviously cashing out as well. Okay, so this would accrue basically over the time that you were mining. Buying your own crypto hardware and running your own crypto mining rig is in and of itself a really sophisticated and complicated procedure. Not only do you have to store your mining rig and keep it cool and change out various components and do everything that a systems engineer would need to do in a cloud mining operation, you also need to update it periodically, because different protocols have different ways of processing. There are forks for different cryptocurrencies that mean when they're updated, your hardware no longer matches the blockchain that they're using. Okay, so it is a really complicated way, and there are many other ways of generating revenue and generating passive income in this demo that are better than running a crypto mining rig. However, if you do choose to do it, there are many different types of mining equipment that you can buy. I'm going to just demonstrate to you here my mining rig, which is effectively my laptop that I've chosen. Okay, I'd actually mind using it, but if I were to do it, here's a brief demonstration of what I would be doing. So I've roughly pay 16 pence per kilowatt hour. This is my CPU. I've got 4 cores. Okay, so I'm going to be making around about 14 pence per day if I were to link my NiceHash account with my laptop. Okay, but I won't be making that because the amount of strain on my system will mean that I need to spend more to replace certain parts, or even replace my entire laptop in this case. So in actual fact, I'm going to be losing money by trying to mine using this. Okay, if I'm going to go to comparison, you can actually compare it with a dedicated miner. Okay, let's just click this one. Antminer is one that I've seen recommended by many people. It seems to be the mining rig of choice. And if I were to calculate that, compare and contrast, okay, you can see the difference there. Okay, so this is just one device. Okay, so if I was to up to the same 4 devices, okay, and do a comparison, 14 pence a day I've been making versus £5.20 a day using the Antminer. Okay, now obviously you can scale this up hugely. Okay, if you're willing to invest and buy, you know, a huge number of Antminers, okay, and have them in a series or a rig. Okay, let's say 32, just for the sake of argument. Okay, and you had those running 24/7, you'd be making £40 plus a day, and that might help you pay off the electricity fees. If you've got free electricity, fantastic, all the better. But you are going to have to scale this up. The learning curve, I suppose, is steep, and the initial investment is steep with your own mining rig. Okay, so I hope that's helped. I hope that's introduced you to the 3 ways that you can effectively mine cryptocurrency should you wish to, each with varying degrees of sophistication, but also 3 varying degrees of profitability. We've got the negligibly profitable, in actual fact loss making, downloading it onto your PC at home and running it in the background. That's not really a viable thing anymore, but you can do it if you're curious to see how crypto mining actually works and actually happens. Then we've got the cloud infrastructure, which is again relatively good in terms of a return, albeit that there are risks. Okay, there are much better ways of putting $5,000 into something where the likelihood of a return is much higher and a lot less risky. But if mining floats your boats and you think that you want to do it, then cloud mining is probably going to be the way forward for you, and I would definitely investigate all the cloud mining solutions that are out there, of which there are many now, and you can compare and contrast those. But it's going to take you a good week of research to actually uncover which cloud mining solution is best for you and the most cost effective as well, and obviously the most reliable, and there are quite a few out there. Then we covered altcoin mining with your own rigs, etc., where you have to understand all of this data basically, and how they all intermingle and how everything works basically, and understand hash rates, luck as well. Okay, so there is an element of luck to these as well. And buying your own rigs is not particularly recommended, just because unless you're prepared to put 5, 10, 15,000 with the hope that the cryptocurrency stays above the rate at where you introduce the mining operation, obviously you do have a potential for actually losing money with mining as well as making it, especially if you're looking for cash flow. Now, this module is titled cash flow because theoretically it wants to point you towards solutions that are always going to be able for you to sell, rather than if you invest in a Bitcoin mining rig today and the price comes down to $10,000 and you started mining it at 40,000, it's going to take you 4 times as long to capture your profits effectively and have the mining operation pay for itself. Okay.